Meanwhile, the median time to get approval to build a house there is 627 days. That's 217 days longer than it took to build the Empire State Building.
Bill Maher says he's had enough. This time, his target isn't late-night comedians, it's California's mountain of red tape. He's calling out what he sees as the consequences of a one-party political system that's grown too comfortable, too insulated, and too unaccountable.
California is the place that spends money and gets nothing, which is why you may have noticed when the fires broke out, no one escaped by high-speed rail. We have the highest marginal tax rate in America, higher than almost all other states, and soon Greenland.
Usually measured and calculated, Maher didn't hold back. He tore into California's leadership, accusing them of slowly dismantling the state he once proudly called home. The critique was blunt, unapologetic, and direct. According to him, what was once America's golden state is now buried under bureaucracy. Let's break down what he had to say.
Regulations that aren't necessary, I mean, you really don't believe that the state we live in, California, is lacking regulation. There's over 300,000 regulations. I mean,
Well, maybe they're needed.
They're not. When I tried to put in a garage door, I had to have 3 inspections. There should have been none. I should be allowed to change my garage door.
Are you kidding? Really? It was about a garage door?
Absolutely.
I'm sorry. Yeah, that is...
Maher started with housing, and he didn't mince words. Endless permits, environmental reviews, and approval processes stretch projects into years instead of months. Builders face a maze of compliance before a single brick is laid. But it doesn't stop there. Transportation projects stall under paperwork. The entertainment industry struggles with mounting costs. Even energy innovation feels trapped under policy layers. Maher argues that regulations created with good intentions have spiraled into paralysis. Instead of protecting citizens, they protect inefficiency. The result? A state that builds less, fixes less, and watches jobs and investment quietly migrate elsewhere.
You know this about California. Come
No,
on.
I don't.
Well,
I'm sorry, I don't.
You've never heard that California is overtaxed and overregulated? That we are a one-party state where there's sort of no checks on that sort of extreme leftism. And that, what do you think?
I don't for a minute consider California a state that is extreme leftist. Not at all, not any way.
Well, that shows where your politics are. That's not where mine are. I'm sorry to tell you.
Maher connects this regulatory explosion to California's political landscape. In his view, one-party dominance weakens accountability. In competitive swing states, leaders know every decision could cost them at the ballot box. That pressure forces responsiveness. But when political power feels guaranteed, urgency fades. Rising housing costs, infrastructure decay, and business flight become manageable inconveniences rather than existential threats. Maher's argument is simple. Competition breeds reform. Political monopolies breed complacency.
They don't really like them that much. They just think the far left has gone so nutty on so many issues.
That's what they're being told.
That's what they...
By people like you.
Because it's true.
He also points to the disconnect between wealthy elites and everyday residents. For multimillionaires, rising taxes and regulatory costs are inconveniences. For working families, they're life-altering burdens. Maher suggests that when policymakers don't personally feel the consequences of their decisions, they underestimate the impact. Rent climbs. Energy bills rise. Small businesses struggle. Meanwhile, those insulated by wealth remain largely untouched. That gap, he argues, fuels political frustration across the country.
We spent the last 2 decades in perpetual drought here, yet almond farmers in California have doubled in that time. Despite the fact that almond production alone uses more water than all the humans and businesses in San Francisco and Los Angeles combined, even on days when your teenage son spends 2 hours showering. How much water it takes to grow different crops, oranges, tomatoes, strawberries, all take about 11 gallons to make 1 pound. Almonds, 1,900 gallons. That wasn't a problem back when it rained, but now there simply isn't enough water to go around, and we have to make a painful choice, getting it to the people or getting it in the nuts.
Maher then shifts to agriculture and water policy. California faces declining rainfall, Yet water management policies remain rigid. He questions why vast amounts of limited water continue flowing toward water-intensive crops while rural communities face restrictions and shortages. In his view, policies designed decades ago haven't adapted to modern climate realities. Instead of pragmatic reform, he sees ideological stubbornness. Farmers strain. Residents ration. Prices rise. And the math, he argues, simply doesn't add up.
California agriculture accounts for 80% of our water use, even though California agriculture is less than 2% of our economy. We actually have enough water. We just give way too much of it to farmers who get their water subsidized by the government because we still act like it's 1890 and farmers are small and independent when they're really mostly part of big ag. And corporations get what they want in America.
He also challenges long-standing subsidies in agriculture. California is no longer primarily an agrarian economy, it's driven by tech, entertainment, and services. Yet water pricing structures often reflect outdated priorities. Maher contends that if water is scarce, it should be priced accordingly. Subsidizing massive consumption during drought conditions shifts the burden onto taxpayers and urban residents. To him, that imbalance deepens inequality and distorts economic incentives.
The vast network of regulators, administrators, inspectors, contract reviewers, project managers, fee assessors, special commissioners, zoning officers, and consultants whose jobs seem to be to make sure nothing ever happens and then charge you for it. The people who answer the phone, "Permit office, how may I hinder you?"
Beyond water and housing, Maher describes a broader bureaucratic fatigue. Permits, compliance costs, taxes. For many residents, daily life feels like navigating a maze. Businesses relocate. Families move to lower-cost states. When corporations and middle-class households alike decide it's easier to leave than stay, that signals deeper structural strain. Maher frames this not as progressive governance, but as economic self-sabotage.
That the current mayor of Chicago has an approval rating of 6.6%.
Round it up, seven.
So, okay. But I mean, you were just the ambassador to Japan. If that was your approval rating in Japan, they would do harakiri on live TV.
They would do it at 27.
I mean, what's going on in Chicago as the person?
Look, I mean, we were talking about this a little earlier. I mean, you have also the mayor of New York not doing well. Obviously, other things also here in Los Angeles, not doing well, the mayor here. Look, and then you got mayors, like the mayor of San Francisco and other cities that are doing well. So I would say, look, there is a general rule. I had this when I was mayor. Safe streets, strong schools, stable finances. Focus on those three things and your city's going to be fine.
Former Chicago Mayor Rahm Emanuel has also weighed in, criticizing local leadership for losing focus on core responsibilities. He argues that city governments should prioritize public safety, strong schools, and economic vitality. Instead, he believes attention has shifted towards symbolic political battles that do little to improve daily life. When crime rises, classrooms struggle, and small businesses close, residents expect practical solutions, not cultural messaging.
We've gone through 5 years where people became way too permissive of culture. They were all, which is why everything's locked up at Walgreens and CVS, and that is a disaster.
Yeah.
And our school, and I'll say this about our schools. I don't want to hear another word about the locker room. I don't want to hear another word about the bathroom. You better start focusing on the classroom.
I agree.
We had the worst reading scores for 8th graders in 30 years. And nobody, not a governor, not a mayor, not a president, not a secretary of education is talking about it. We're all wrapped up. Look, in 7th grade, if I known that I could have said the word they and got in the girls' bathroom, I would have done it.
Emanuel goes further, warning that schools must return to fundamentals. Literacy, math proficiency, and critical thinking should be the priority. When academic outcomes decline while ideological debates intensify, students ultimately bear the cost. Taken together, Maher and his allies paint a stark picture. Overregulation, political complacency, and ideological rigidity are driving frustration across California. From housing to water, energy to education, they argue that reform requires accountability and pragmatic governance. Without it, the exodus of talent, families, and businesses may continue.